Gear Mondays, the greatest Metal Gear podcast ever.
I don't agree with you.
Releasing on Monday, every Monday.
How did you patch into my radio frequency?
Stinks in here. Bad.
Ladies, gearsmen, babies, and gentle thems, welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, a podcast about Metal Gear, Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima, and the things that surround his circle. It's a podcast where we cover all of these subjects in up to down, left to right, upside down, inside and out, pseudo chronological order. Goddamn, I am Lily Wright, and I'm here with my friend Alessia Summerfield.
I am Lily Wright, and I am clipping my mic.
Am I clipping? Oh no!
No! Just that scream just then. But it's fine. It's fine. It'll.
I'm just gonna. Just for the $10 patron, just a little. And that's gonna sound really great, no matter who you are.
Yeah, that's for the video podcast.
That's for the video. But honestly, the internet's gonna go crazy for that.
Oh yeah. Newly added tier for $10 patrons, ASMR videos. No, I'm kidding. Except they're all really, really loud.
Onlyfans.com/Metal Gear Mondays.
Oh God. What a perfect time to plug though. So we have a new Patreon. We tweaked it slightly. As of right now, you can still get access to all of the material that released for 6 years prior to right now, at $1 plus a month. But at $5 plus a month, you get all the newest stuff, minus one important thing. And that's at $10. You get a video podcast and a shout out at the top of the show, as well as all the other shit that we mentioned. So that's the Patriot Club, which is an exclusive Patreon podcast. So if you subscribe at $1 plus right now, you get 64 episodes, probably roughly.
It's probably closer to 100 hours.
Yeah, of a show immediately. And then if you're $5 plus, you get access to all the other stuff. As of right now, as of writing, we do have a $10 patron. Two $10 patrons.
Whoa!
Yeah, we have two, and we'll do a shout out to. I'm gonna pick a random one of these.
Those $10 patrons are seeing my cat be a fuckhead in the background right now.
Oh yeah. So to the two $10 patrons that just popped into our page, I'm gonna roll digital dice very quickly, and I will pick one of you two, and the one that I'm gonna pick is Tyler Washington. Tyler,
God.
just for this episode, I'll let slip who the two were. So it's actually Johnny Flores Jr. and Tyler Washington.
Wow.
Thank you guys. But specifically, this episode's brought to you by Tyler Washington. So, and specifically Tyler Washington's hair. So I love that. I love that man's haircut.
Frolicious for a reason.
Oh yes. Always reminds me of the Yakuza 6 guy. Whose name I can't, or sorry, 7.
7. Thank you. Ichiban Kasuga.
Ichiban, number one.
Ichiban.
Oh yeah. As why am I blanking on her name? As Mai Shiranui from King of Fighters says, Nihon Ichiban. Japan is number one. Yep. Cool. Anyway,
really quick before we get into what we're talking about today, it would be super helpful if you could go and review the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that accepts reviews. Please go ahead and leave a 5-star review. Tell your friends, peer pressure them into doing it, and that would be a great help to us to get visibility. Extremely helpful. So,
especially with DS2 right around the corner.
Yeah, DS2 around the corner.
The more we can be at the top of people's feeds, the better. So
Absolutely.
It would be much appreciated. Cool. Anyway,
but what are we talking about today? What's happening? What's going on? What was that noise?
We talked to a wonderful, wonderful human being, which you will hear from ASAP. For all of you who've played Death Stranding, we are speaking with the face
not
movements, the PCAP
the PCAP. He goes into his history as the PCAP actor for Heartman in the podcast. It's kind of an interesting thing
So
that
it's the
happened
Heartman
there.
guy.
Yeah, it's the Heartman guy.
Yeah, the
So
voice of Heartman and the facial muscle movements of Heartman, but not the mocap.
Not the well, yes, the mocap and the DS2. He'll go into
the second one, not in the first.
His name is Darren Jacobs. He's a lovely actor from the UK, who we had a wonderful time talking to. Went into his history in theater and acting, getting into voice acting, his time on Death Stranding.
His time cutting up with Norman Reedus and being
cutting up in the studio. Yeah, just being troublemakers in the studio. And some very little, not a lot. He didn't give away too much, but a little teaser for what you could expect from DS2, because that is coming out as you're listening. That's coming out next week. DS2 is, which feels crazy.
Is it really next week? Hold on, let me check the
calendar. It comes out on the 26th
of June.
And we're releasing. This is coming out
May 20th.
Yeah, it's on May 20th, so it's coming out next.
It's a month after. Not
oh my god! I've been thinking it's June this entire time.
I wish it was June.
Never mind. It's coming out a month from now.
You're totally cool. I'm sorry to put you on blast. What the heck was I about to say? Yeah, I will say, I don't want to spoil too much because we do talk about it, but I will say huge bombshell moment on this interview about the recording process for this game.
Yeah.
They, unlike all the Metal Gear games, it's like the whole cast was present and just like vibing out and hanging. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that they're like big AAA film and TV actors, and they want to be around each other for performance reasons. But that was huge. So, and Darren goes into discussing that. So that's why he was cutting up with Norman, because they were in the same room.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we jump into it, two quick caveats. It's really difficult for us to ask interview subjects to do more than just be present with their voice. It actually helps kind of smooth the ask with a lot of these people. So due to that, unfortunately, huge bummer for $10 patrons, but we do not have video for this, for the interviews. Maybe in the future, we might be able to cajole one or two people.
Listen to him. Listen to him.
I'll see if we can. I don't want to give away too much, but at PRGE this year, we will more than likely be interviewing some more people. And I'll see if we can't video those at least. So I think anything in person, we could probably slap a camera on a tripod. But for any of these over the web, especially some of the more management agency heavy people, it's just too much of an ask. So apologies.
And if we can do it, like, we'll do it if we can. Like, it's not like we're just we're not gonna like try sometimes, but more often than not, it's gonna be, you see our faces for the intro, and then we'll have like a nice little graphic to listen to on that. So it'll be more like the audio experience that you'd get on YouTube for the actual interview. So
yeah. And again, sorry about that. Maybe I'll be fancy and cut in some images or something, or whatever gameplay footage, but we will see. Don't want to overcommit. Overcommitting is the enemy of production schedule.
Overcommitting is, to step outside the bid, is why we stopped doing the podcast for 3.5 years. So.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of the good is something I'm trying to teach myself. Second quick caveat, just for sake of surprise and fun, we're not going to spoil the rest of the interviews. So between now and DS2, the rest of the interviews, if and when they happen, will be surprises. And I will divulge this. We do have somebody who we are going to talk to who is actually unable to do an interview before June 25th, just due to an NDA with that one specific actor for some reason. So that one, unfortunately, due to the NDA, is going to have to come out once we start covering DS2. But we're not going to use it to take the slot of a proper episode. We're just going to drop it as like a 2-episode week. So just so it doesn't mess up our schedule. So
we've legitimately timed this out, like the schedule to get us from DS2 to Delta on time without any like overlap of games. we've timed this out very specifically. So yes, interviews will be extra drops during the week as opposed to replacements.
So, and I'm really stoked. We do have a couple people that are sort of like warm right now that we haven't locked in. That like if we do get them, I'm going to be like the happiest I've ever been for making this show, which is saying a lot because I've been very happy making this show. So anyway,
we've been very lucky with the people we've been able to talk to, but if we can get some of these other folks, it'll be like, damn,
it'll be huge.
What a life.
So anyway, so we have at least one other person completely on the line for post release, but we'll let you guys know as that develops. People maybe with a hint, but we're not going to tell you who. Anyway, cool. I will stop. I'll shut the fuck up now, and we'll get into the interview.
Don't forget patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays. Leave a review, and for all of the links to our stuff, go to Linktree/Metal Gear Mondays
and promote us on social if that's what you do. If you like the show,
share.
I think other than that, we go into detail with everything with Darren. I think he's in a production that may or may not have actually timed out with the release of the episode. So that plug may be out of date. Apologies. But yeah, you know where to find us. Liliana, where can people find you on social?
I'm on Linktree just to find all of my stuff. Linktree/Liliana Dawn. That'll be where you find me.
Cool. And you can find all my stuff. And I've been saying it for years. I actually did finally do a rehab, but I'm going to do another one. AlessioSummerfield.com. That is ALESSIO. And that has links to everything. And we'll have a lot more cool stuff in the future. Yeah. Cool. One quick thing. We're not going to be doing listener response specific episodes, but we are going to be peppering them throughout our seasons. So as it happens, if you have anything you want to say about the show, or if you have any thoughts on Death Stranding 2 once it releases, or even before it releases, feel free to send an email. That is contact@metalgearmondays.com.
Yeah, no more due dates. We're just going to read them as we get them.
Yeah, exactly. So even if you're like, you send one 6 months after DS2, if it's pertinent and we like the content, we will slip it in the future. Awesome sauce. All right, cool. Well, love y'all. And we're here with Darren Jacobs. Darren, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and thanks for having me today.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. We're obviously the show covers a lot of Death Stranding material. We're all big fans of Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions, and I'm a big fan of the man whose body you voice, which I'm sure we'll get into the weirdness of that. But yeah, no, thank you so much for joining us. And I would just love to hear more about you and your career and how you've come to speaking with us today. So yeah, if you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about your trajectory professionally?
Absolutely. I'll try and do bullet points because it's crazy. I started when I was a kid. I started acting when I did local drama school, and by accident I ended up doing an audition. I was only supposed to be doing a couple of lines, and I ended up doing a national tour. And
wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then because of that, I realized that I could do everything. I was like a triple threat. So I started to learn to dance, and that was at like 14, 15, it was a real Billy Elliot story. And then I just got scholarships and went to London. I did 3 years in London, then graduated from drama school in London, and within weeks I started working in the West End. So I did a lot of theatre, which is how we'll talk about it later, but how I met Tommy Earl Jenkins as well. So I did a lot of West End and did the Royal Shakespeare Company, a lot of original casts in theatre, and did I don't know if you know Matthew Bott. Well, the Swan Lake, that's in Billy Elliot. I did the Swan Lake, and worked with his company for about 4 or 5 years, toured the world, and toured around America.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever had somebody who I don't think we've ever interviewed anybody who's done voices for video games who can point to this much of a prestigious career in the lead up.
Like the Swan Lake, and like it's very specific start to get to where you are now.
But it's crazy because that's what I was so lucky. The place where I went to was like a fame school where I went to that specific one because I did get into other very prestigious acting schools, and like the Royal Ballet School and the English National Ballet School all accepted me to go there, and I wanted to just be able to do everything. So I went to this one, and that's why I have very that's why like mocap is very easy for me, because telling a story with my body is what I was trained to do, especially with when I work with Matthew Bourne and things like that. So but voiceover for me was all an absolute accident. I've done so much theater and doing all the shows, I've had to learn so many different accents. And it wasn't until I studied in New York that we did all that. I did some training in New York, all the things that we actually don't do in the UK, because we do theater for 3 years, and that's what you do, theater. And we don't do voiceover, we don't do on camera, we don't do commercial, we don't do anything like that. We don't, like the more weird kind of stuff. We're starting to do Meisner, but like Chekhov and what have you. Not Chekhov technique as an actor. So I did all these things, and I realized that I actually was really good at voiceover. And it was my while I was studying in America that my teacher got me a voiceover agent.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I would never have done it. I would never have even thought. Honest to God, I would never have thought of that. That's the one thing I didn't. And then it was just a thing that I went, oh yeah, I'll do it on the side. But then I continually kept on working, which has been amazing. I love voiceover. I really do. The one thing about voiceover that I miss is that on stage or in a TV show or something, you have all the people around you, and in voiceover, you have an amazing team. All the voice director and the producers and everybody, but you don't have the other actors really. It's very rare that you work with another actor. So I do miss that. But I came to America about just about 10 years ago to pursue more on-camera stuff, and it was just by accident that I started working more in voiceover. So I ran with it. I'm like, okay, this is great,
Well,
we love a happy accident,
Yeah, exactly.
Especially during like the global pandemic, I'm sure being able to work from a studio would be great.
Oh my God, when the pandemic started, and I had, and this is the truth. The pandemic started, and I'd been leasing my car, and the lease was coming up at the end, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It was literally about 2 months after everything had gone into lockdown, and I was like, I have to either buy the car, send it back, get a new one, and have no money. And I was like, what am I going to do? And then I got a phone call and from my voiceover agent, and they said, hey, Darren, Meredith Lane, who's a wonderful, prolific voiceover director and casting director, has got in touch, and they want you to start on something on Monday. It's a new series. You auditioned for it about a year ago. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, yeah. And and what's crazy is the check that I got from that paid off my car to the dollar.
Whoa.
It was insane.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, so thank you, voiceover.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. That coincides a lot with my career in post-production for television. Because straight up, I think it was like 6 months before COVID hit, I started working in post-production. Yeah. And then everything moved to remote. And I was like, I'm so glad I'm not on set anymore. Yeah. Like, I'm able to keep working.
Yeah. I did that though as well. As soon as the pandemic started, I was like, right, I need to convert my closet into a studio. So literally within 2 days, I'd got all the stuff, because luckily about 2 weeks after the pandemic, your microphones, the price of them went through the roof, and all the material that you get for it went through the roof, and I bought it just before. So yeah, I was lucky.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna ask you a question about sort of like your earlier career,
Yeah.
because for some context, I spent several years of my youth in England.
Oh, cool.
And one of the things that I got very obsessed with while I was in England was the soaps on like BBC and ITV, and you were in a handful of episodes of Hollyoaks.
I was, yes. I'm
back
guilty.
in the day. And I was really curious about like the production of those shows, because there's that pressure to do these really high quality interlinked stories
Yep.
that you have to release almost daily.
Yeah.
So do you remember what production was like on a show like Hollyoaks?
It was great. We actually had it's funny enough, we had 3 units working at once. So it was really choreographed. Like as soon as you were done on this one unit, there'd be a driver who'd take you over to another unit for a different episode. And it was just it turned into when I went into it, it's when they just upped it to, I think it was 4 days a week, and it was a beast. Then they had to get that machine oiled and running.
Yeah.
And you had to go with it. There was no messing around. You had to turn up on set, and you had to know those lines, So they were their casting process was really thorough. The casting director for it was a lady called Dorothy Andrews, who was this little old lady who was like a battle axe. And oh my God, she was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Getting Hollyoaks, I'll tell you this quick story. I actually didn't audition for Hollyoaks. I auditioned for another soap for a series regular. And I had to go from London to Liverpool, which American people will realize it's about a 3.5-hour train journey, and then like a 45-minute car journey just to get to the place to audition. And on my callback, my final, there was 3 of us, and I was the third one called in. And the first person went in, he was like 20 minutes, and the second person went in, he was like 50 minutes in there. Oh, wow. And I was like, oh, he's definitely got this part. So I went in, and they literally gave me 2 minutes to do it. They'd made up their mind, and I did. And she sped through my audition. And I said to her, and my last line was, "Thank you very much." And she went, "Thank you, Darren, you can go now." And I said, I could go now, but I've got another 45 minutes in the car and another 3.5 hours on the train. And I will hate myself unless I say to you, I would love to spend another 2 more minutes in here and show you what I can really do. Because then I can go home and, be happy with myself. And this battle axe looked at me, because the producers were there and the director and everybody was there. And she looked at me, and she's like an old lady you don't mess around with her. And she gave me this smirk, and she went, "Of course I can." And we did it. And I thought, come on, Darren, you have to be amazing now. And I did it. And she smiled. She went, "Thank you so much." And I was like, like I knew what I was doing. I didn't care, and walked out the room. And then I got out the room, and I phoned up my agent. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did this." And my agent was like, "Darren, what have you done?" Well, 2 weeks later, she phoned me up and said, "Hey, you don't need to audition. I'm going to give you 5 episodes of Hollyoaks. Will you take it?" And I was like, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes you just have to be polite and charming, but you have to stick up for yourself in, these auditions.
Yeah.
And that's how I got it. But it was amazing. And going back to what you were saying, it's a machine. There was so many people. It was really, you got one rehearsal through, maybe, unless it was like what they like to do was one take, so that they'd just pull the count on the dolly back, and you had to keep an ear out for your lines, even though you're on the side of the room, and the dolly would come to you and focus on you. So they do those a lot, and so that would take the most with the rehearsals of that. But you would be in serious trouble if you weren't getting your lines right, because
So are they like preparing an episode? So episode comes out on Thursday. Are they doing that on Wednesday, or like how is that?
No, it's not as quick. It's not as quick as American TV. If I remember rightly, it was about 2 or 3 weeks before.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
before it came out. I'm pretty certain it was 2 or 3 weeks.
For
yeah.
all of us unsophisticated swine, is this effectively the Channel 4 equivalent to Days of Our Lives? Is
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a younger audience as well.
Got
very
it.
much so.
Yeah, so
It's like those like Hollyoaks, EastEnders, and all
yeah.
those.
I just actually auditioned for, funnily enough, for Coronation Street for
Oh,
for
okay.
a huge part in that, and I did not expect. I didn't expect that, and I didn't get the role, but I got close to it, which was really nice because if you're English, everybody knows that show, Coronation Street.
Yeah.
It's crazy, it's so famous. It's one of the original soaps in the UK. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I didn't realize that the UK had such like a deep history with.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there's like
yes.
I would say like EastEnders and Coronation Street are like the big,
Yeah.
and then Hollyoaks kind of came later, but it
Yeah.
also got pretty big as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. I still get. It's so funny on Hollyoaks. I got loads of fan mail, but I also got hate mail.
Oh.
It was so weird. I'm like, why do you hate me? I'm literally just a drama teacher. There's some people who have been scarred by their drama teachers in life, let me tell you.
I do have one more quick question before we get into like the video games of it all, which and this might not even be anything, but when I was kind of like looking at your credits on IMDb, at least, your character is listed, and then in parentheses it says as a different name. Is there like a story there? Is there something that you can share about like your pseudonym?
Yeah, well, my real name isn't Jacobs. That's my stage name, and I changed it because my real name is incredibly English. And when I first went to America, nobody could say it, first of all, and you just knew I was English. I made one of my first auditions in America. It was for Irish. It was for a character from Kildare, which is where my granddad was from. So I know that accent really well. And I got to producers. If you get to producers, you get down to like last 3 to 5 in the for the role. And it was for a huge. Oh God, I can't remember his name. It was a huge new pilot. And I went to the producers and I went, hello, how are you doing? And they went, you're not Irish. And I went, what? And they were like, you're not Irish. I went, oh yeah, it's fine. I can do that accent. And they were like, no, he's got to be Irish. He's got to be Irish. And they went crazy.
No.
So yeah, so my real name is Forthrop, which actually is Celtic. It's old Celtic.
Okay.
It's basically like a map of where it tells you. The For means the forest of cedar trees, and Throp means the village. So it means the village near the forest of cedar trees. And it's
wow.
Yeah, and that's what it actually, the etymology for it. But that's what it was. But nobody could ever say it. So my manager was like, we need another name. And I was like, okay, I don't know what my family's going to say about it. There's going to be trouble. So I actually, the thing is, my niece is like, she's almost like my daughter. We're so close, and she's a Forthrop as well. So I said to her, okay, her name's Alicia. I was like, when she was young then, and I said, can you help me? I need to have a new name because the Americans don't understand the name. And she's like, right. I said, so it's going to be a secret between me and you. Can you think of a name that you will be able to tell me? And she was like, I don't know. I said, let's ask your nana, my mum, as well. So we went to my mum. I was like, Mum, what were you going to call me if you weren't going to call me Darren? And she went, Jacob. And I went, and I said, what do you think, Alicia? And Alicia was like, yes, I'll allow that. Yeah,
the true boss.
The boss of the family told me. Yeah, so that's how it came about. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I was going to ask if there were any other names on the cutting room floor, but I think you just definitively locked us in.
Alicia had it on point there.
That's crazy. Speaking of credits and IMDb and all this other stuff, typically whenever we're preparing for an interview, I think one of the things we do is we tend to like listen to / read all of the available interviews we can find, just to make sure we're not doing a lot of repeat work. But it was interesting because like going through some of your past credits and stuff like that, like I stumbled across this like 2014 Smite listing for Baron Samedi,
Yes.
and immediately the first thought that popped into my head is, isn't that a black man? And so I'm curious. And obviously it's like I was thinking of the Bond villain as well, and like all these
Yeah.
other things. But I need to know more about
Yes.
this casting.
Yeah, that one. This I have a funny story about that as well. That one I didn't really know much about it until afterwards, because I only basically really looked into it afterwards. But it was
Mm.
Count Baron Samedi, so it's in a different ones. If it had been a black person, I would have said no. But it's
Got it. Oh, and I didn't want to put you on the spot. To me, it was funny.
Even then though, I wouldn't have done it, but because it's very Baron Samedi usually is like voodoo, and
Yeah.
and the guy who actually mainly does Baron Samedi was phenomenal. His voice was amazing. But I did the vampire version of it, so it was very different. And
so
the
it's like a
guy,
skin.
Baron Samedi in that one, I wouldn't have even known unless I looked back at the other ones and listened to him, because his actual skin color is white. Or else I would have said, because I've said that in before, I'm like, I don't think I should be auditioning for this. But it was really funny when they released all the voiceovers. They always do like a presentation of it all. And I was watching it live, and it was hilarious because they came to Baron Samedi, and I'm like, yeah, cool, amazing. Let's have a listen. And they played the other Baron Samedi, and it was a
Oh,
different. It was
man.
it was the one before, and I could see them all kind of like looking at one another, and nobody knew what to say. And I was like, somebody's messed up. So they kind of quickly just like skirt over it and talk about the graphics and what have you. And I was like, what is going on? Have I been fired? Have I been replaced? What the hell is happening? But they'd made a huge mistake. But then when they released Baron Samedi, it was basically raw. Just raw. They didn't put sound effects to it and everything. So like you hear all the other ones, like they have all echo and all this lightning in the background and amazing stuff. But it's just me going, I am Baron Samedi, or whatever voice I did,
It's crazy.
So I was like, it always seems to happen to me, but it was funny actually. I just remember looking at, because nobody else would have known unless the actor who played Baron Samedi before, that other skin, had seen it. Nobody would have really known, and then they changed it quickly. It was very funny.
That's crazy. Well, I'm sorry to bring up.
No, it's just
tumultuous
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I find it all.
Was that your first role in a video game, or did you have others that kind of led into that? Like, what's sort of been your experience when it comes to like breaking into, I guess, video game voice acting?
Do you know? I think it was one of the first ones. I'm not gonna, but it wasn't. I don't think it was the first. I've done so many. That's the thing about video games. They're all under project code names and what have you, and they don't even tell you what it is, or they might give you the bare bones of a project, and you're under NDA, and you sign your life away, and you're not allowed to say anything. So there's been so many things I've never heard because I don't even know what they were. This was before that SAG have changed it all, and now we have to be told what they are. So I have done, but I'd mostly done commercial work. In voiceover industry, it's easier to get into commercial work, even though I think commercial work is much harder than a video game, but I've had theater training, so video games and animation is so easy for me to tap into, whereas commercial is selling things when you're pretending that you're not selling things, but you really are selling things. So, but anybody can do commercial work if you have a good voice. You have a really sexy voice, then you can do commercial work. But obviously I'm being very basic about that. There's so much more to it than that. But that if you have a wonderful instrument, you can work. Whereas with video games, I say to people, you will audition, and I mean you could be auditioning every day, and you could do about a year and a half before a casting director will take you seriously and even let you think of you to do a job, because it's so difficult doing animation and video games, because you're in that room and you have so many lines to get through that you're sight reading most of the time, and you've got to be good enough for them to be able to redirect you and get through that entire session. Otherwise, the casting director is going to look bad, the director's going to look bad, the producer's going to look bad, to and all this lot. So it's video games is real. I have respect for any voice actor, but I have respect for the commercial actors for being able to be so amazing and sell you something without their audience knowing it, and for video game people for being able to just nail some of the hardest things. Like, oh yeah, you protect Darren, so in this one you are going to be a 3-legged eagle who is Irish with a limp, and you have a cough, and you're 100 years old. Go.
And you're on fire.
Yeah, and you're on fire. And go. And you're just like, what? Welcome to video games.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, so I guess to bridge us into the main topic, since you I'm trying to think of the best way to put this together. Since you and Tommy go back, I'm curious, is Tommy what led you to Death Stranding, or was it coincidental? What's the story? Like, how did that come about?
Oh no. That little shit, he kept that quiet from me. I had no idea. So I had
drama.
I know. I turned, because when I went to meet Hideo for the first time, I was chatting with who was I chatting with? I was chatting with somebody, and they were like, "Oh, there's a really cool guy who was here yesterday. He was working in England a lot. His name's Tommy." And I went, "Oh, right." And he went, "Yes, his name's Tommy Earl Jenkins." I went, "What?" I was like, "What?" And then I phoned him up. I was like, "So what's this about? You're in Death Stranding?" And he was like, "How do you know?" I was like, "Because I was there today." He was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Yeah, no, I've known him because he Tommy Earl Jenkins. Tommy's like me. He trained in everything. Tommy was a ballet dancer as well. He trained. I know he did stuff with Alvin Ailey years and years ago. And I have so much respect for that man. He is, and do you know what? I have so much respect for him. I hate him because he's a nice guy as well. He's so talented and he's nice. Ugh, I can't bear it.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, no, he's one of the nicest guys, and one of the people that absolutely deservedly deserves everything that's coming into. He's coming into his power now, and hats off to him. He's worked. That gentleman has worked. But yeah, we did. We never actually worked together. But Tommy's husband was my roommate for.
Oh, okay.
Because Tommy's husband went to my college. He was in the year below me at college, and he was my roommate for about 6 months. And we all did theatre shows. Like, I know Tommy did. Tommy, when I was still in my third year of college, Tommy was in Five Guys Named Mo in the West End, and I went to see him do it, and I saw him do. Oh God, I've seen him do so many shows. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. But we never worked together. But we were always in parties, and we knew each other. Because we went from job to job. I was very, very lucky, and I always went from job to job to job in the theatre. And I knew Tommy because he was just like this legend and just a nice guy, just a nice person. So so when I found out that he was on it, I was like, what? So I've been texting him, and I'm like, because the first game was so hard because we didn't know anything about it, and they're saying, okay, so there's this thing called a BT that's like a black thing that's going to be floating in front of you, and
hey, you and us both. I don't think anyone knew anything about what the hell was going on.
Everybody was very confused for a very long time, and still are to a certain extent.
So I was like, hey, do you know what that is? And he was like, no, just go with it. I was like, yep. So it was so much fun. It was so much fun because we were comparing. We ended up going to the video game awards as well at the same time, and we got drunk in the after show party. Me and him. So yeah, he's a good guy. I like Tommy a lot. But yeah, but working with him was amazing. You know, it was crazy because we didn't do that for the first game. We didn't. Well, I didn't. He did do some mocap. I think he did all of his mocap because he did his late. But when by the time I joined, they'd already done the mocap for it because we were on strike, and they added all the voices later because we weren't allowed to. Weren't allowed to do it. So yeah, I came in, which was really it was good, but also really difficult because then I had to create Heartman to somebody else's rhythms,
Right.
which was hard because you know there's anchor points within the motion capture that I had to stick to. So if they said like if you look here, and that was on 37th second, I had to make sure that I had said those lines at that in a certain the tempo had, and then say the next line quicker or faster, or you know, because we'd do it all in one go. It wouldn't work by just doing bit by bit, piecing it together. You couldn't do that. It had to be more realistic and have the flow. So, and with mine, Heartman bangs on forever. He just goes
He
on
does,
once he
yeah,
starts.
until
Once
he
he
passes
starts,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Then you
like
break.
he's like, give me a break, dude. You know. So he would bang on for ages, and it was really good, but it was very difficult. But it was good because it was perfect for me was Heartman because it really was the culmination of all the work that I'd done in the past and the training that I'd done to get to this point to be able to put it all together. It honestly, it was like, it was crazy because they were nervous about Heartman because Heartman could have been just another guy who's giving you facts. And one of my things that I said to Hideo Sam was that you know, let's not. He's got to be quirky. He's got to be, you know, let's do something with him. You know, he's not being around people because when he's away on the beach, time is different there. So he's away for a long time, and then he comes back for a couple of minutes. Then he's by himself all the time. So I made like a little bit of like quirkiness to him, like a little stammer and things, you know, just making it more awkward and
like me leaving my apartment post COVID.
Exactly. yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and they loved it, and you know it's so funny because I Hideo-san really likes it when you come up with these ideas. Because I was chatting to him once, and I add like little things to it, and I said, you don't mind if I do that? He's like, no, absolutely. He said, I moved from doing animation to this, working with actors, because I want to work with other people's ideas. If I wanted to work in animation and make people do exactly what I wanted them to do, I could, but I want to work with actors who are going to bring something to me because it'll spark ideas with me that I can bounce off of. And he said, so I love it when people do that. And I was like, oh, wow, great, you know. And it was really a nice, insightful little moment that I had with him.
Yeah. So you came in and you had to do the voice off of performance capture that was already done.
No, okay, so
or
right. So there's mocap is the movement, and it's that. So you'll have somebody in the full suit, and they will do the movement. And they'll get all the little ping pong balls on you, and they'll get all that movement and have that down. And then what you'll have like a face that's just and what I'm working with will be a face that's completely still. And then I will do the P-cap, and I put the dots all over my face, and the P-cap will get all my facial expressions and the way that I'm saying it, and then they'll add that to that. And full P-cap is when you do the mocap and the P-cap together.
Got it.
Yeah, so there's mocap, P-cap, and full P-cap, and so I did the P-cap for this, but using somebody else's skin and somebody else's mocap. So,
So did
three humans.
Yeah.
three of
Did
us.
that-
Yeah.
Did that change for? I do have a couple other questions about like the process for the first one, but did that
Yeah.
change for 2? Like, did you do
Yes.
the full PCAP?
I
for
did.
2?
I did full PCAP for 2,
Okay,
and
awesome.
they rescanned Nicholas Winding Refn, and so because the graphics from, if you look at the graphics between the first and the second game, you aren't going to believe it. It's like, I've seen some of the stuff. It's absolutely, oh my god, it's amazing. And like it, because before we do a scene, the story, Hideo-san would go through the storyboard with us, and we'd talk it through and where we have to be and why we're doing it, and he'd show us also visual stuff. So, yeah, and we do all that, but yeah, so there was 3 of us in the first one, but in this one it was just me. Yeah, and it was crazy.
That's very cool. I mean, just hearing about I mean, candidly, it's like we've been doing this podcast on and off for 10 years and talking to voice actors from like all of Kojima's other games, and it's like just hearing you talk about this is like the most, I think, hands-on, face-to-face, directly with Hideo Kojima of any actor we've spoken to. So it's crazy to hear some of this stuff. It's very different, I think.
It is. It's insane. I mean, listen, we were some days because I in this on the studio, I'm sat next to Norman. 90% of the time I was sat next to Norman, because me and him are the naughty boys. So we're sat at the side, laughing and joking and being told off. And Leia's really good. She's at the other side doing her lines and stuff, and they're all the good people were on the other side of the room, and me and Norman were in the corner. We were the naughty boys. But yeah, it was funny, and it was crazy because Leia would catch my eye sometimes, and Norman would catch my eye, and they're like, what's going on now? And I'm talking to Norman. I'll explain later.
That is very cool that you guys were like all able to sort of work in such an environment. I don't know. It was I almost
really
want to go
good.
back and I almost want to go back with like an eye for performance in particular, and just like replay and see like how it all feels again. I don't know. This is all really cool. I love hearing
it. There was such a great cast, and working with these super professionals as well, because they they come from theater, a real a TV and film background, and see, it's so amazing on that soundstage, because you've got people like me who is theater trained. You've got Norman, who's TV, and Leia's movie, and all these different ways of acting on the stage, all working together, and it works with Hideo Kojima stuff. It works. It's because his stuff's crazy. So it's
that is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah. So, and I honest to gosh, I have so much respect for all of those actors. The stand-ins, all the named actors. There's so much back, of people back there. My hat goes off to everyone on that soundstage, because it really is. It's for his games. I know that he's the auteur, he's the Diaghilev of video games. He's the main producer who brings all these people, but he has these amazing people underneath him who are just phenomenal. It's unbelievable working with him. It really, really, really is. It was one of the best experiences. Like, I didn't know what was going on a lot of the time, but you just went with it, and it was amazing. It's amazing, really, really, so much respect. And I'm not just saying that because I want more work.
more work.
I do. I'm
is
not.
Is you teasing there's a Death Stranding 3 you're trying to cast for?
If there is, I will not tell you, and if there is, I would like to. But no,
Well, so it's this amazing, like, obviously this huge production, and it's kind of crazy. You mentioned before we started talking about all of this that when you're trying to get, access and jobs in the video game industry, it's very difficult until
Yeah,
somebody just kind of takes you seriously.
yeah.
So you're auditioning for this really high profile. This is his first video game since he split away from Konami, where he'd been with for decades. What was the process like to get in the door on it? And
It was an audition for me. There was no offer, there was no anything. It was a regular old audition, and what happened with it was I thought it was a regular old voiceover audition, so I banged it out, and I was like, I'm really happy with this. The actual thing was, it was for the project was called Project Chiral, and we didn't know anything
Oh,
about
okay.
it. We didn't know it's Kojima. We didn't know anything. But the guy that I had narcolepsy and would fall asleep. And I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. So I was like, he has narcolepsy and he falls asleep every 20 minutes. I'm like, great. So, but,
He's
so
just like us.
yeah, so I did, I did it. And I did the voiceover and I was like, yeah, it's brilliant. And then I looked again and I was like, oh shit, it's on camera. Oh my God. And I'd wasted time, and I was like, I have to do it now. So I literally taped paper all around the camera. All around the camera. And literally, and I was like doing my looking off into space when I'm really reading the lines, making it
Oh my
myself
God.
like, and I was like, I did not know the lines at all, and I just had fun with it, and I sent it off. I was like, this is the best you get in. I didn't know anything, and then about 2 days later, they said, "Hey, so they've given us more details. It's a Kojima who does Metal Gear Solid," and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, and you've got a callback. They want you to do. He's given you some specific instructions on redirection on what to do, and don't be as tired," because I was playing tired because narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So, and I was like, he was like, "No, don't be as tired. When you wake up, and then you're straight into it and all this stuff." It was basically just prepping me for to see whether I could take redirection, and I did it. And I was like, if this is Kojima, okay, it's not going to be, oh, this is the best that you're getting. I spent time on it and was like,
Yeah.
and I told my friend. And he was like, "Oh my God, you gotta get it! You gotta get it!" I was like, so yeah, I did break that NDA, but it was because he was helping me on this one. Because I knew Metal Gear Solid, but I'd never played it.
Yeah,
And I was like, what do I need to do? He's like, I don't know. It's a Kojima. Nobody knows.
yeah.
I was like, okay.
That's so real. That's so real, honestly.
Yeah. So, but I sent it off, and then literally within days, they were like, "Hey, we want you to come down to Sony Santa Monica and meet Kojima and all the gang and everybody." And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I was so nervous.
So it was all West Coast essentially. You didn't end up having to go. Okay.
No, I didn't. For the first game, he did come to the West Coast every time. I think. I think there was some that they had to do when Norman was filming somewhere. But the second game, they did. I know that they've had to go around because of COVID and stuff.
Oh,
They had
right.
to go. They had to pack up and go to France because Norman was filming in France, and Leia was doing
Got it.
She was doing. I think she was doing Dune 2. So they had to do some stuff around her, and yeah, it was kind of all. I only ever worked in Sony Santa Monica. I would have happily packed my suitcase and gone. So I'll put that out there as well. Yeah, but I didn't. I was just here, but it was. Do you know what? It's really crazy on DS2. I was looking forward to it. They'd be like, "Hey, Darren, so next month are you available for these?" And I'm like, "Yes!" It was so much fun. I had so much fun with everybody.
So at what point did you find out that it was going to be your voice coming out of Nicholas's face?
It wasn't. They said that I didn't quite understand. I didn't. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't quite understand the whole thing of it, and I was like, because it's amazing, but a lot of even in the media now, they still say, "Oh, it's acted by Nicholas Winding Refn," and I'm like, "Ugh," because I'm like, all credit where it's due. And I love his work. I've seen, I'd say 90% of his work, and I
Yeah, I
absolutely
was going
love
to ask if you'd seen any of
Oh
his
my
films.
god,
Yeah.
I love his work. I do because
Yeah.
I love I love that kind of stuff. It's so cerebral. I loved like David Lynch. I loved all that I loved all the the Italian and the French delicatessen and all that kind of movies. I loved the higher ones, and so I love his. What did I watch? Not Cowboy. The one that was on. Oh bloody hell! What was it? On Prime.
Oh,
Cowboy.
the
The
series?
series, yeah, and Hideo was in
Oh
it.
my god.
It was
Yeah, he was. What is it
Miles
called?
Teller
Something
was
about
in
the
it as well.
old or young. Oh man.
Too young,
Too
too old to die young.
young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Yep.
I loved it. I think I loved that. I absolutely loved it. I do think, and this is me personally, and who am I to say, but I did think it needed a bit of an editor to cut it down a bit. But
Yeah.
it was.
No, for sure.
I loved it, and I bought the soundtrack to it as well because I thought it was so good.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
love his stuff, but yeah, for me, it's really difficult because having such a well-known face, then people just assume that it's the face that's actually doing it. But
Yeah, I think
Nicholas
that's
was
what happened with us
Nicholas,
too, at first.
So there's a lot more now people knowing that it was actually me that's done it, because I was in the UK, all the UK magazines were going, "Oh my god, Nicholas Winding Refn is such a great actor," and we didn't know. And I was like, "Oh, come on, guys!
Yeah.
He's English as well.
Yeah.
Hartman's English. Come on."
Have you spent any time with him or spoken with him at all?
No, only via text. We were doing a scene, and we were doing some stuff, and Hideo-san was really happy and laughing at some of the stuff that I was doing. So he filmed me and sent it to Nicholas and said, "This is what you're doing." And he was laughing and saying, "Hey, Darren," and all this lot. But I've not met up with him, but I would love to work with him.
Got it. It's very
Still
funny.
though, no big deal. Just texting Nicholas.
Yeah. It wasn't me.
I love. It's just funny to me to think of people being like, "Oh my god, who knew that Refn was such a great actor?" Because I think one of the things, like, just sort of in like filmmaking circles and stuff, I think Refn is like legendary for having these very weird interviews where he is just like a giddy little schoolboy. And he has such a crazy personality that it's like I never in a million years would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's him right there."
Yeah,
that is, you know what I mean?
Because he's got such he's got such a strong accent. Well, it's gone down now, but I remember seeing one interview with him in a bookstore. It was really funny. He was just
he's great.
He was bouncing off the walls. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Respect.
Well, and they did the same thing too with Guillermo del Toro, and it's just like, wow, these directors are really great actors. Whoever knew? Turns out.
I know, and it's crazy because I know a couple of I know Doug Jones. Do you know who Doug Jones is? Doug Jones basically does all of Guillermo's movies. He was the
he was in Shape of Water. That's right.
Yes, he was. He was the merman in The Shape of Water. He's the faun in Pan's Labyrinth. He was Silver Surfer. He was
he Abe Sapien?
He was Abe Sapien, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in. It was
I was just having a conversation with somebody about how like they should bring him back for like the multiverse stuff with the new Silver Surfer Marvel stuff.
And and Doug is one of the nicest people. And I've said to him, I've said to Doug, you need to tell Guillermo that I will do anything. I love in his movies. I will do anything because I love his stuff. I am one of those actors. I love working anyway, but I love working with people who have crazy visions, and that's why it's in their own way. Nicholas and Hideo-san and Guillermo, a perfect trio because they're so wacky in their own way. And it's like they're just out. They think out of the box and they're pushing art forwards. So I'd love to. I would love to. I'd love to. I'll tell you what I would love I would love to play Heartman in the new movie if they did the new movie, with the new movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I'll put that
I keep
out
forgetting
there.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
There's a funny thing that I did want to bring up though, is
Yeah.
that we on your website, you have like things that you've done listed, and you have a side-by-side shot of Heartman and you in glasses.
Yes.
And you do look remarkably similar to him in that photograph.
That's the only reason is that I never even it was a friend of mine that picked it out in headshots, and I was like, oh my god, that is perfect. So that was purely by chance and by accident, and because it was, I think I did those photos prior to doing Heartman. And I would, if I would love to on the big screen.
Yeah, it's crazy. You get that headshot of you in your glasses has somehow magically made its way into an envelope that I'm sending to my friend at A24 right now. So let's see what happens.
I love it. I'll give you the money for that later.
Darren, thank you so much. I know we're coming up close to time. I guess while we have you, I know that there are probably rifle laser sights pointed at all of our heads right now, but is there anything you can tell us about Death Stranding 2 to get people excited at all? Anything legally that you can tell us?
I have to be very careful, like I said, but
for sure.
In Death Stranding 1, Hideo-san, he wanted to do a game about connecting. So there's very few deaths in the first game because it's all about connecting. It's all about the rope rather than the stick. The second game is more about the stick, and he wanted to give them more of his fans more of what they were expecting. So there is more fights and badassery going on. Like me turning into Magellan Man is just like
yeah.
When we had that, it was so nuts because I didn't know until I got my script a couple of days before. And then when I came in, I was like, what's all this about? And they showed me the artwork, and I was like, no. What? And they were like, yep. I was like, oh my God, this is a major tick for me,
Yeah.
I wanted to be like a Power Ranger or something.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it was like
in a trailer filled with like incredibly hype moment after hype moment. You that was one of the hypest moments.
I know, but I was so shocked when I saw it. I didn't think that he'd let that one out, that little secret. And I was like, so I was so shocked. I was like, holy shit. When it came, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, it's really it's a different beast is the second one. From what I know, from the scenes that I've done, but but he's so smart. He's what he does. It's almost like he's telling the future, so it's tied in very much with now, but also with the future as well. I can't say because I'll be giving secrets and stuff. What I can say is that it was amazing to work with all these great actors and people like Elle and Shioli and everybody, and just seeing them working and all the stuff that's why I think he wants to have really good actors who people like, because he wants that realism of the actors to tone down the craziness of the world that they're in.
That's an interesting point. I never even thought about that.
Yeah. So and just to do that, there's going to be a lot of surprises. There's going to be, but I say that, and then I watch stuff online, and there's some people whose brains are just crazy like his who actually are picking things out, and I'm like, oh my God, how the hell did they get that from this one little thing? It's insane. So
what you're telling us is that we need to go on Reddit, and then everything is true.
Yeah, I'm like, oh. Yeah, no,
You heard it here, folks.
yeah.
Darren Jacobs is approving of all of your conspiracy
I'm
theories.
totally fired now. I'm totally fired. I'm blacklisted. No, I'm trying to be good because
You're doing great. You're doing great.
no, because I was just like in the run up to it, people kept on saying, "Hey, are you in it?" And I'm like, because when the first trailer came out, I was like, I can't say that I'm in it, and I was like, this is such an amazing thing to be a part of the Death Stranding world. It looks amazing. I'm so glad to see what comes out. And then all of a sudden, it was in all the computer magazines that I made a statement that I'm not in it. At which point, I'm getting phone calls from Kojima Productions and Sony, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I didn't say that. That's not what happened."
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even think I remember seeing that coming around. That's wild.
Yeah. And it was insane. But and then I had to go be like, when they did drop my name, I was like, "Hey, only kidding." And I never said it. I was just messing with one of the fans who I chat to. Well, I used to be on X or Twitter until I left it, until it became a horrendous place.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yes.
Until somebody who's involved did some terrible things.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember the name, but
yeah, exactly. So I left, and but I used to have a lot of people that I chat with, because I like chatting with all the fans, because at the end of the day, we are doing it for the fans. We only working because the fans are buying the game, and so that's why I do the podcast and stuff like that, because I loved working on it, and I love that people like playing the game, or or even just enjoy the concept of the game, or whatever, of the games that he does. So so that's why I like doing all this kind of stuff. But yeah.
Well, on that note, we will. We loved having you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there? I mean, other than this insane video game that's coming out in months, is there anything else that you want to plug for our listeners? Anything that you want to promote? Anything that you've got going on?
I don't.
And where can they find you as well?
I am on Instagram. It's Darren JCBS, my fake last name without the vowels. And I'm on Blue Sky. I've gone off of the other ones. I'm still on Facebook, but that's like just me messing around. And yeah, but
that's for all the Nans out there.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. I had to block my mum. My mum is the worst.
No.
I was like, "Mum, no," because she'd be embarrassing me on social media. No. I'm like, and my friends were all laughing and taking the mickey out of me. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you're officially blocked.
That's amazing.
I am in some stuff, but I can't. NDAs.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll tell everybody to keep an eye. Your career's on our radar.
Yeah, there is something that I'm really proud of at the moment. I did a lot of work. I actually just did some more work on it recently. It's called No Rest for the Wicked. It's by the people who did Ori and the Blind Forest and the Will of the Wisp.
I was just seeing something about this game the other day.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I play like one of the villains. And I play so many little characters in it. Now, they were only supposed to be small, but the studio really liked what I did, so they kept on bringing me back. And they made them like there's a character called the Shit Scraper. I'm sorry. he goes around after the horses and scrapes up the horsemen. Yeah, but he's like this crazy old man. But they thought he was hilarious, so they made him like a big character.
That's great.
So yeah, it's funny, and I can talk about that because that's out there. Oh, and I keep forgetting. And I did I'm the voice of John Constantine in the new DC Dark Legion.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations,
amazing.
That's great.
That was good. Yeah, it was really a lot of good. Again, that was amazing to work to see these amazing actors that are doing all these other roles. So that was a really cool one. That was a really, really nice to work with Warner Brothers on that. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
well, we will definitely check out all of those things. I myself will probably check out this No Rest for the Wicked. So thank you for reminding me.
It's good. No worries.
Nice. Well, yeah. Liliana, was there anything else you want to mention while we have Darren, or we're gonna wrap it
No,
up?
nothing specific. Just thank you so much for taking the time. We've very much enjoyed having you on the show.
No, it's been great. I love it. Great questions, by the way, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really good, because sometimes when you get interviewed, it's kind of the same ones, and then I feel like
Mhm.
a fraud, because I'll say the same answer that I might have said to somebody else,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so that's good. And you with the Hollyoaks, I was laughing.
Yeah. Got many people ask about Hollyoaks. That hit me specifically in my heart. So I needed to.
I still get people go crazy when they go, "You were in Hollyoaks." I'm like, unfortunately, yeah.
I don't know why, but as you guys keep saying the title, my brain keeps interpreting it as Holly Oates, and it's a soap opera about Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates.
Those
there's
famous
enough-
singers.
Yeah. There's enough drama there to drive it. I guess.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
That's
it's
very
crazy.
true.
Just a buck.